a joint venture with you, they may also want to see your business plan. Yeah.
Thank you. So after we covered external audience, now we cover internal audience. So the internal audience might be your board of directors, your management, your business unit heads, or key staffs that you are doing this business plan for. Anything to add on for this?
This one, there, a lot of business plan are done for internal audience, especially the board of directors. They normally, once a year, they want to see the business plan. And so for board of directors, their main concern will be on things like the governance of the company. How is it run? How are the controls like, the risks involved in the business, or the sustainability of the business? They will be concerned about long-term things. How long can a business sustain or last, right? Now, in the case of management, when they structure or develop a business plan, there will be, one of their priorities or their main priorities will be things like products. What are your existing products? What are your next range of products? Sales, the sales channels, the market, the new markets not explored. These are the areas that interest the management. For business unit heads, say you are a departmental head, right, of a business unit, then you will be very interested to talk about or find out about the company's thinking on resource allocation. How much will be allocated to your department or your business, So these are things that, you see, different audience have a different focus and priority. Or key stuff. For key stuff, it will be like continuation of the strategies, or is it going to initiate some new strategic direction? In this subject matter, I would like to talk a bit more about it, because there are a lot of businesses that they, when they do a strategic business plan, quite often it's more of the same. Last year we did one, okay, we take last year's plan and then work on that, and I bought one seat, so we do it based on last year and then come up with a new one. So it's more of the same. And because of that, you get restricted by the possibilities in your business, and you may miss out major opportunities or a new direction for the business, which may make a lot of difference. For example, later I'm going to talk about Blue Ocean strategy. Yeah? So that's one of the areas. If you keep depending on the previous year's more of the same business plan, then you're going to restrict yourself to the tested or the common field that all your competitors are in, but you may miss out on Blue Ocean strategies. Okay. On the other hand, having said that, you might also find that every time there's a change in the CEO, the new boss, he may do a new broom sweep clean sort of strategy, because simply for ego lah. Sometimes they change for the sake of change, not because it makes strategic sense, but he wants to show his colors, right? Now, that's also a bit dangerous, isn't it? Because, for example, in America, J.C. Penney, the old CEO got kicked out. They took in a new CEO who was the JCPenney is a departmental store, or well, it's like Aeon here, all right? And it's very big in America. And they took on a new CEO who was the ex Apple retail head. So it's a different kind of thinking, different positioning. And what happened was he tried to change JCPenney into a more upbeat, upmarket type of store, and it was disastrous. In the year that he came in, their sales dropped by 35% because of the change in strategy. So strategic direction is very important. You have to get the right one. You don't want to stick to the same old thing, but at the same time, you cannot do a change just for the sake of change or for ego. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Loh. So next we move on. Move on. So like what you say, different audience will focus on different area. Such as investor will focus on the growth prospect, right? Financier will focus on the risk areas, okay, financier or bankers. And for staff and department, head of department, they focus on performance goals and targets. Okay, so approach, now we talk about approach. So the approach is to be clear about the purpose and to understand what the audience wants, and then decide how you want to do your plan. Business risk areas and how this may be mitigated are of interest to lenders. Growth, return, and payback period are of interest to an investor. So there's difference, lender or investor. You want to add on?
No, supposing you are doing a business plan for a bank and you want to borrow money from the bank, okay? You have to put yourself in the bank's position. Imagine what, if you're a banker, what you want to see. When somebody applies to you for a credit facility. So typically, the bank would want to see, for example, what's your cash flow like, your business cash flow. So they will want to see your cash flow forecast. Okay, and if you are giving credit to your customers, what's your debt quality like? Are your customers paying, or are there a lot of bad debts? Things like that. Interest cover. Interest cover means how much cash flow you generate to pay for interest. So the higher the interest cover, the better. For example, if you have to pay $100,000 in interest a year, and if you have got cash flow that is $1 million a year, then that's very good. It's 10-to-1 interest cover. All right. Debt equity ratio. How much debt compared to how much capital you have in your business. Now the higher the debt equity ratio, the is not so good, the lower it is, the better, because bankers, they very kiasu, and they want to have they want you to have as much capital as possible, and that not to be too much. So that's the if you are doing a business plan for the banker, this are the areas you want to highlight and focus on. All right. Now, let's say you are preparing the plan for an investor. You're trying to get an investor into your business. Then you would have a different area of focus or highlight. You may highlight things like how exciting your products are, or new products that are being developed in the pipeline, how exciting they are, and what sort of untapped markets you have not tapped yet.